Let's talk about the secret conversation you have in your head right after the real one ends. You know, the one where you obsessively replay what someone really thought of you, or that sinking feeling you get in the pit of your stomach the moment someone disagrees with you. What if we told you this constant, draining need for approval isn't a personality flaw? It's an invisible script, a psychological trap you were put in as a child, and most people don't even know it exists. This isn't about being needy. It's a survival program running silently in your background operating system. Today, we're not just going to expose the hidden code behind this trap. We're going to give you a powerful mindfulness framework to help you break free, stop decoding every little criticism, and build a kind of self-trust that makes external opinions irrelevant. Before you can rewrite the program, you have to see the code, and it goes deeper than most people think. At our core, humans are social animals. For our ancestors, survival wasn't about being the strongest, it was about belonging. Being part of the tribe meant you were safe. It meant food, protection, and a future. Being cast out was a literal death sentence. This intense pressure hardwired our brains with a primal need for social acceptance. Think of it as a social thermostat secretly installed in your mind, constantly checking your status to keep you safe. As a baby, this system is everything. You learned instantly that connection equaled survival and disconnection equaled danger. This isn't a bug, it's a feature of the human blueprint. It's the code that allows us to build societies. But here's the glitch. For so many of us, that social thermostat, designed for ancient life or death threats, is broken. It's stuck on high alert. The primal fear of exile now masquerades as a modern terror of being disliked, unfollowed, or misunderstood. To your unconscious mind, the stakes feel just as high, even when they logically aren't. You start seeing rejection everywhere, not as a threat to your life, but as a threat to your identity. And that's the trap. The survival tool designed to protect you starts shrinking your world, and you're the only one who can see it. So if we're all born with this code, and we are, why do some people seem crippled by it, while others move with an unshakable confidence that seems almost unfair? The answer, the real secret, is in the calibration. It was set in childhood, when that social thermostat was first being programmed. This is where the script was written for you. As you grew up, your world expanded from parents to teachers, friends, and beyond. Every interaction taught you the rules of approval. If you had hypercritical parents, you learned the core rule: who you are is fundamentally flawed. Love and safety became conditional, things you had to earn by being better, quieter, or just different. The hidden message was your authentic self is not welcome here, so you started performing for approval just to feel safe. Or maybe your script wasn't written with harshness, but with neglect. If you felt invisible, for instance, you learned that you had to do something spectacular just to be noticed. Your achievements became desperate bids for connection. Soon, external praise was the only data you had to measure your own value. Or maybe you were cast in the role of the peacemaker. In a home filled with tension, you learned your job was to keep everyone happy, which always meant suppressing your own needs. Saying no felt like a threat to the entire system. As an adult, this translates into a compulsive need to be agreeable, getting approval by never, ever disrupting the peace. These different paths all lead to the same outcome. They hijack your internal validation system. While some people learn to build self-worth from the inside out, your script taught you that your worth is determined by external reactions. This creates an approval addiction. You start chasing that external hit just to feel stable, and the fear of criticism feels like a fear of total annihilation. This is the vicious cycle at the heart of the trap. A shaky sense of self sends you looking for approval, but because that approval is external, it can never truly fix the code on the inside. If you're starting to see the invisible script playing out in your own life, hit the like button. It's more than just helping the channel. It's a quiet signal to others who are starting to wake up to this. And stay with us, because understanding the trap is one thing. Learning how to rewrite the code is how you take your power back. So, how do you escape a program this deeply embedded? The answer isn't to fight the need for approval. That's like trying to fight your own operating system. The secret is to build a new source of validation, an internal one that's so powerful it makes the external noise fade into the background. We do this with a simple 3-step framework that most people will never learn: recognize, reframe, and recenter. So step 1, Recognize the pattern without judgment. First, you have to learn to see the program running in real time. This is what separates you from everyone else. For most of your life, this approval-seeking script has been on autopilot. Your only job now is to notice when it activates. When you leave a social event, do you feel the scan begin? When you post something, do you feel the pull to check for validation? When you get feedback, do you feel your body react? Just see it, don't judge it or fight it. Simply say to yourself, there it is. The approval program is running. Think of these feelings: the anxiety, the neediness, as pop-up ads generated by old software. You are the user, not the ad. By simply observing the pattern, you create a critical space between you and the automatic reaction. That space is power. In that moment of recognition, you go from being a character in the script to being the one who's reading it. Step 2, reframe the narrative with self-compassion. Once you've spotted the program, you challenge its source code. The script tells you stories like, their disapproval proves I'm worthless, or I must get them to agree, or I am not safe. This is where you reframe that narrative, something most people don't know how to do. Ask a simple, powerful question. Is this thought 100% true? Is it a universal fact that one person's opinion erases your existence? Is it true you need this specific person's approval to survive this moment? Then you deploy self-compassion. This is where you speak to yourself like an ally who knows the truth. You can put a hand on your heart and say, of course this is coming up. This is just the old programming. You are whole and worthy even if someone doesn't see it. The goal isn't to believe it instantly. The goal is to consistently offer a counter narrative. You are consciously swapping out the voice of the inner critic for the voice of your inner advocate. You're no longer asking, am I enough? You are installing the new belief system, I am enough. Step 3, recenter your internal compass. The final step is to unplug from their world and plug back into yours. After you've seen the program and reframed its story, you must ground yourself in what is actually true for you. Ask yourself, what do I think? What are my values? What action aligns with the person I am choosing to be? This yanks your focus away from the impossible task of managing other people's perceptions and puts it back on your own integrity. A potent way to do this is with a self-recognition journal. Every night, write down 3 things you did that day that you respect yourself for. Maybe you said no when every part of your programming screamed yes. Maybe you spoke your truth even if your voice shook. Maybe you simply chose not to engage in a draining argument. This practice trains your brain to seek validation from its new primary source, you. Over time, your internal compass becomes your true north. You'll still hear other people's opinions, but they will no longer be the storm that knocks you off course. They'll just be the weather. You learn to trust your own signal above all others. That exhausting need for approval is not a life sentence. It's a psychological trap built from an ancient survival code and a childhood script. Most people will live their whole lives inside this trap, never knowing there's a way out. But it's a trap you now have the keys to dismantle. Freedom begins the moment you understand this drive is a piece of impersonal programming and not a personal failure. The path out is through the quiet, steady practice of this mindfulness framework. By learning to reorganize the program, reframe the narrative, and recenter on your internal compass, you build a foundation of self-trust that no one can ever touch. You stop leasing your self-worth from others and finally own it outright. You start living life not for their applause, but from a place of deep, quiet, and powerful authenticity. Your worth is a fact. You don't need to prove it. You just need to remember it. What's one small way you can start rewriting your script this week? Share it in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for spending time with us today. And until next time, breathe deeply, live fully, and thrive.